So here we are at beautiful Linville Gorge, the Western Ridge, camping and working for the week. So what I wanted to create was a situation where I could easily set up and tear down a campsite. And for me, the two most important aspects of camping are having a comfortable bed, number one. Number two is having coffee in the morning. This setup accomplishes both. So in here are the beds. Top bunk is mine. Bottom bunk is Pico, my wife's. You see a battery there. We'll get into that later. But this F-150 is a Powerboost that has a generator and its own battery as well. And then back in the trunk is a whole kitchenette. And there's the electric coffee maker. We'll go through in a moment. We'll open this up and go through that and a few other things. Back here is set up a portable cassette toilet, which is great out in the woods. Got a pop-up tent that gives privacy if needed. All right, so we'll start with the sleeping arrangements here. So as we showed before, we got a bunk bed, and here kind of sleeping diagonal into that area there, kind of gives a little bit extra room. It's about 5'4" across, something like that. This space up here is basically 5'10" from right here to the other side, with the windshield leaning in, and with lying on my back, I'm 5'10", pointing my toes and things. There's not quite enough room, but with these nice screens here that push out, and I've also got vinyl ones for when it's raining, there is plenty of room there. Additionally, what happens here is these two boards go across here. We'll stow neatly under this area to free up this whole area up here for a working space, a sitting space in the event of inclement weather. So that's really nice for kind of working remotely. And then to get in and out of the beds, basically the front driver's seat goes forward. The passenger seat's sort of the changing and staging area. And then kind of jimmy into this little coffin looking area here, or climb up onto the bed here. I can lie on my back and my knees just touch the ceiling. So it's a perfect space for me. I wouldn't recommend this for anyone much taller than me. If you're over 6 feet, unfortunately this plan won't work. Now, one thing I want to talk about real quick is the truck. It's electric in that it's a hybrid, not a plug-in hybrid, but has a generator, and then also it runs off battery. And in hot weather, it'll keep the AC running all night long, and the engine will only kick on for about a minute every half hour. That's how efficient the air conditioning is. So I think that kind of wraps up the bed area. So the kitchen, well, let me just do one thing here. So into these loops right here, those goes poles where a rain fly could be set up and extend 10 foot by 10 foot to cover the main area and provide some sitting area for two people. And I guess I should have said earlier, this design is for either one or two people. More than that, there's just not enough space. So kitchenette area. This kitchenette pulls out. It was tucked in, pushed back about a foot or 16 inches or so. And what we have here is a induction cooktop that uses up to 1800 watts, about 13 amps or so. Got a coffee maker, which is about 1500 watts when it's running. We got all the storage you need for different things. The container down here, as you saw, for the pots and plates and bowls and things like that. The washing tub. And then back here, that's a pretty cool here. It's an electric Bosch 2.5 gallon water heater. with a thermostat controlled knob here where you can run up to full hot, which is scalding, down to the temperature of the water tank. And the water tank is back here, and I got probably bigger than I needed to, but this is about a 42-gallon tank, so you can easily have plenty of water for a long trip. Now this here turns on the water pump, the on-demand pump, and then we got running water. Now where it's located, you can set up a shower. Again, the privacy tent, which I mentioned, could set up right here and take a shower right outside the vehicle. So I'm going to turn this off here. And the last thing to mention is the refrigerator. Probably a little bit of a mess in here, but it's a 50-liter electric refrigerator by Bodega. It can get pulled out of here and put on the ground for easier access. Otherwise, you got to climb up on the step stool here to access it. It's in here so I can button it up at night since I'm in bear country right now. And then lastly, there's this gap in here. It's about 15 inches wide. That is used for storage. The chairs go back there, toiletries, travel, things like that. And then you saw the tonneau cover that rolls out over it. So yeah, that is the electrified truck camper. Of course, it can be used for a portable hotel room. You could park in a parking deck. I mean, it's completely stealth. You can't tell if anybody's in it, other than you can sleep with the window shut. It's a little bit tight for me, so I prefer them open. But you know, whether it's a Walmart or Cracker Barrel or just the side of the road or apartment complex or hotel, can just pull right up and go to sleep. But the whole idea with this is to spend time outside in the nature, to go wild.